Jordan is left with only his Action Man and Lego Star Wars collection. Well, it's expensive. It's a collector's item, isn't it? Lego can get pretty pricey. That's right, Pinky. The police were at Durwood's house the other day, allegedly. It's interesting how they didn't name the individuals. You had to put two and two together. You had to play the connect the dots. Connect the dots on that one. But I guess, actually, I heard a message since then that came earlier talking about the conversation behind the scenes. See, Jordan and Mike Demand and myself had a three-way meeting way back in November when old Jordan was tripping out. It was fucking tripping out over the people talking bad about Durwood. So ridiculous. He wants you to think he's so sideways about the way people are talking about his helpful old man, old Darren Geddes. He needed to have a sit down and straighten everything out. And that's when old Jordan flashed one of these weapons. And an individual got a screenshot of it. I wonder if that's where it started. I'm not sure if we'll ever know. It's not important. It's just one of those things you wonder about. But it seems to me that if it was easy to get a screenshot of old Jordan holding a weapon, especially with the amount that he's throwing all of these threats, because it's not just one or two or three people. It's a whole slew of individuals, and probably continues to grow on the daily. You know, he's going to escalate in these situations to the point of trying to intimidate with with maybe weapon shots, and that was what's going on. It's probably not the first time. So it's got to be out there. It sounds like old Jordan needs a gun safety course. You may as well have just got your hunting license, bro. Oh, shit. You're going to have to get it one way or the other. Oh, shit. Poor bastard. They took his bows. A couple of longbows in a compound. I mean, they're more than one. I mean, he was probably into, bow hunting and targets. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that shit. But the problem here is why can't you just follow the rules? Like, why did they come in and have to take all of these things that they claim could have possibly hurt people? It sounds to me like they're concerned with what his behavior at the time. Could that be the link to all of these particular threats that he was allegedly, well, we know that he was putting out. We can say that, but we can imagine just how many. Only he knows. And the reasons why he's doing that in the first place. What sort of anger and rage issues are you holding that motivates a person to do that? Yeah, Karen, is it just because of Jordan's mental state? Or is there more to it? We know he's weak already and soft. Right? He's got to take stress leave. Like, how stressful is your job to begin with, you old crazy bastard? You had to take stress leave? Was that just a line? I want to believe you, Jordan, but I'm keeping my mind open. Angry Beaver syndrome? That just sounds funny. It's probably a really terrible thing. But, really, we still don't know the details of it. We don't know, like, what motivated him to go out and possess these. Were they acquired in break and enters? Can they trace these weapons back? I'm sure all kinds of work will have to be done with them. They just seized them. You know, you got to do the investigation on the weapon, rookie cops. You got to search the serial number. Is he shaving off the serial numbers from the sawed-off shotgun? Was it used in any robberies? Can they match it? They've got to find these things out. She'll probably want to take the credit, Captain Justice. But it's not just Anita, it's before that as well. Anita's just on that list. He seems too unhinged to own those weapons for sure. Well, where was he obtaining the ammo? How was he acquiring the ammunition if he's not allowed to be possessing these weapons? And that brings up the next question. What is the reason as to why, assuming there is one, that he's not allowed to keep these long guns and these weapons? We're only assuming they're not registered, or he's not allowed to have them. There's could be numerous reasons for that. Any one of them is just as interesting. He doesn't want us talking about that. Why? Probably be therapeutic for him. Look, the dude's been living around Durwood his entire life. He's probably, he's been groomed a certain way. Durwood's got to be pissed that they took the family heirlooms. Some of those looked old as... No, they didn't really. They're not that old, Peaches. Not that I saw. But still, I don't think that they were, because you would think that they they were registered to somebody that was legal to possess them. And I think that's probably the biggest problem here. If you're not allowed, they had to come in and take them. Or did they have to come in and take them because of a specific reason tied to his current behavior? They didn't mention it, right? It could be a couple of things. Either way, they didn't name the individual, which would probably tell us the answer to the other part. I don't know. But yeah, it is a fair point, I think, VB. I don't need to go on about it. I feel sorry for him because part of my brain is fooled into thinking that they were just his heirlooms, and because he's gone downhill psychologically, they've just decided to come in and take his weapons, to revoke all of his FACs and whatever, and come in and just start taking everything that they think he would be able to grab in order to hurt and carry out all of these threats of violence that he's on record sending around to people on the internet. Why were they there in the first place? We don't know. I want to know. All because Jordan thought he could be the next Power Ranger with his arms. He was almost a Power Ranger. He probably has a suit. I wonder what color Power Ranger Jordan is. Yellow? Lori Green, you're saying there's been so many so-called relatives talking to content creators, telling stories, but not one doing a live police appeal for the children. It's all fake. Yeah, you're right. Probably right anyway, Lori. I'm with you. He obviously is known to the RCMP, and his videos are delusional, mentally unstable, in your opinion, Helicopter Grandma? Well, I don't know about that. Hold on for a sec. That reminds me. I have a nice thumbnail of Jordan. Oh, by the way, you see what this? Do you see who's on your screen? I found this screenshot today. That Bossman 11234 is Bradley Wong. But more importantly, look who's just above them, up on panel with Sonny. It's Zach Jackson. Thank you very much. Thank you for all you do. Well, thank you for being here and watching, Debbie. I appreciate your super chat, darling. That helps out big time. I'm like, oh, I got Zach Jackson. There's Zach Jackson now. He was up there pulling the same shit on Sonny's panel. Heavens to Betsy. Day. That was pretty cool. I thought that was fantastic. How the hell did he get that back, though? Had to wait to catch that lobster again. What do we get? What do we get from Daniel and MBM? We were drifting in and out of sleep. Yeah, you got a trail hiker. Yeah, in other words, we don't need to, and don't want to tell you what we were doing. Listen, drifting in and out of sleep isn't an excuse. Not to mention, both of them said that they were awake. They just don't want to admit they were awake. It's so bizarre the way they describe it. Like, you would expect something like that from a toddler. Because Daniel come out afterwards and says that he wasn't even close to being asleep. Yeah, that's just nonsense. Like, every time you contradict yourself, no matter the words that you're using, it doesn't look very good for your situation. But if you look, he's tried to normalize all these little in the moment times where it would seem contradictory. He's normalized it. He's groomed us as an audience into his bullshit blather. They don't have a solid story for why the kids are magically disappeared, because it doesn't align with the way that they present what it is that happened. Not only that morning, I don't believe any of that happened at all. They were just laying there and maybe in bed with Meadow, because the one thing that would have been consistent amongst everybody else is the fact that the baby sleeps, the baby wakes up, the baby needs a snack, the baby needs changed. It's not going to wait for, and it's not going to reason or be controlled by an outside influence in that matter. It's a young 18-month-old child at that time. So that's, I believe Meadow was there. No doubt about that in my mind. So I try to imagine what really happened based around where Malaya was, and she would have been, I believe, most likely around Meadow all of the time that this happened, because it doesn't seem that she was very motivated to be separated even from Meadow, to even go look for her children that have just magically disappeared. That's so bizarre to me. You couldn't even for a second say, hey, hold Meadow for a sec, Dad. I'm going out to verify, where the fuck are these kids? Where the hell are the kids? Usually there would be an escalation in hysterics rather than instinctually wanting to call 911 because of a feeling. We just don't hear the kids. I got to call 911. The story doesn't fit. It's all bullshit. Every part of it. Helicopter Grandma says, yep. And repetition is giving Janie those guilty knowledge vibes. At this point, at 1 year in, it's all they can do is repeat their same story rather than go into any sort of context. That's going to translate well for the detectives when they want to interview them next, because at some point all of this evidence gathering is going to come back. All of these things that they need testing, all of these procedures that they have to follow, it's all going to have an end to it. And then they're going to sit back and have a little powwow meeting around in the coffee room with a bunch of fucking Tim Hortons donuts, probably jelly filled, and they're going to be thinking about all the things that they're going to need to question them on based upon their own investigation that they had to put together since the very beginning, because there was no way that the individual parents were being forthcoming as they want the public to believe. If they were, we would be somewhere. We wouldn't be here talking about it. We're here because it's a lie. They are lying. When that day happens, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall or back in the back running all of the CCTV and the recording footage. I wish I had that job. I'd be like, oh yeah. Because it would be excellent to have Danny and Malaya and Janie all in the interview rooms, separate interview rooms, with detectives shaking their story about. and questioning them and following them up, hitting them, because they're going to fuck up, because there is no context to any of this. It hasn't been scrutinized. They haven't been shook down. They've gone through all of these normal procedures in a situation like that they're mandated to carry out. But as far as any applicable police work or investigative work, we haven't had enough time pass for that to actually have occurred. Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Another Irish exit. Yeah, I got Mike's vodka. Dalene's in here. I'm right here. Testing 1. Now you can hear me okay. I don't know, for whatever reason, I think my cable in the back of my mic kind of was loose and then it got pulled out a little bit. But everything was up here still bouncing. It's not like I don't notice. So I just had to replug in my microphone. I wasn't saying anything that important anyway, I don't think. DM and MBM will not rat each other out. Why? The $100 question. She may not rat on him because she's involved. I think that really honest, the Patriot Girl goes, that's pretty obvious. You know that. I think that's what you're trying to point out, though. No, I didn't fall asleep. I'm cognizant. No, I don't drink alcohol, thank you. With more chance that I smoked a big fatty and just zoned right out, zombified. But would never get to that level. I wouldn't leave you hanging. Where did I leave off then? Hold on. I want to see the body cam footage of Janie and Logan throwing hands on the driveway, just a clapping seal. I was just talking about that. That'll be good. At some point, I agree. Like I was saying, at some point, Janie, Daniel, and Malaya will have to be further questioned after all of this investigation that they've had to do in the background that has been occurring comes to some sort of conclusion. I want to see that interview. I want that to happen. And that's going to be the one where they get the cuffs put on them. It's the one where they get them to come down and, oh, hey, Danny, do you want to have another, another chicken burger dressed up as a Big Mac from McDonald's, buddy? Maybe I can get you the XL Diet Coke. Be the last time you sip it on that.